viewers, and welcome to our discussion segment on NTA Sokoto Weekend News. Tonight we shall be looking at the issue of local government administration in Sokoto State, and at the moment I'm being joined in the studios by the Honorable Commissioner, Minister for Local Government Affairs, Faruk. Yabo. Sir, you're welcome to NTA Sokoto Weekend News.
Thank you very much.
Our focus today is local government administration in Sokoto State. But before we go into that, we would like you to tell us some of the mandates of your ministry.
The mandate of the Ministry for Local Government, as provided by the Sokoto State House of Assembly Act, is to regulate, guide, and encourage local government councils to operate and function effectively. This, I will say, borders on from the recruitment aspect. The recruitment aspect, we collaborate with the Local Government Service Commission. On the management aspect, we have our directors in the ministry, and we have zonal inspectors, and we have departmental directors in almost every local government council. But fundamentally, like I say, what the mandate we have is to guide them and regulate their activities so that they can operate with the highest degree of efficiency.
Okay.
That is the fundamental thing I will say here.
Okay. Now let's go to the local government councils. What do we expect from them? What are their constitutional responsibilities?
Their constitutional responsibility borders on making sure that they provide the immediate primary health care, sanitation, and the preventive measures for the disease, to outbreak of disease. Apart from that, they also coordinate the activities of the wards that are under each local government council, which you have the elected local government chairman, and you have the elected councillors, and you have the bureaucracy running within the local government administration. But what I'm saying here, what is happening in Sokoto is that of collaboration, not just passing orders. We collaborate very well. We have projects that we execute together. We have projects that we guide them to execute. Yes. Now
let's look at the local government development and local government since the inception of this administration. What would you say about this?
That is very, very visible. Significant level of development has occurred since 2007, when His Excellency was campaigning for election in 2007. He made it very clear that when he wins the office of the Executive Governor of Sokoto State, he will give the local government council that degree of autonomy, and I think that part of the pledge has been fulfilled. Two, you can see the amount of infrastructure that has reached the local government headquarters. We now have 30 houses in every local government headquarters. We have some of them, because of the population density, they have 40. We have road networks. We have also, provided the local government council with that freedom to, execute their projects, that financial autonomy, which is very, very visible and clear in Sokoto State, and that is enabling them to do a lot of projects. Then the other area is we collaborate with them. When you look at the issue of boreholes, apart from the project that the state government is doing directly, we collaborate in providing, potable drinking water, with the local government councils. We also collaborate in the area of extending electricity to the local government council and to the wards and to even the sub-wards, to even the hamlets, because since last year, over 320 towns and villages have been connected with electricity. and you've seen the number of boreholes. Just recently, His Excellency was on project commissioning. He went to almost every local government headquarters in Sokoto State, and I think the NTA was part of that entourage. And you've seen the projects that have been commissioned. You've seen the meaningful nature of those projects to those communities.
Okay. Now, what of the area of education? What are local governments doing to complement the effort of the state government?
In that respect, there is a demarcation and definition of responsibilities. When you look at the way we have the primary education board, you have the support of the state and the federal government in terms of providing infrastructure, equipping the schools. Then the local government council, their own constitutional responsibility is to provide salaries for the teachers of those primary schools in their respective local government council. So this, as you can see, is a tripartite arrangement, and it's been constitutional. It's been that what we have only been doing is to encourage the local government headquarters to get to where the UBE or survey cannot reach, because you have classification of you have a defined description of what project the state and UBE can do, and then sometimes you have cases of schools that cannot be reached because of scarce resources. In those cases, we always encourage the local government council to go and do what they can, apart from what they are supposed to, or what the state and federal government is doing. And we are also getting the support of the MDG. Okay. Just like in the area of healthcare, you've seen that the state government has made a giant stride. Almost every ward we have 230 health care units, they call them. Okay. That are there, and now we have started making deliveries. Each one of these healthcare units will be equipped. We have already recruited 1,200 additional personnel that will manage this health unit. This is a revolutionary policy, I must say. I had a meeting with the T-Shift, which is from the USAID, and they promised to assist in capacity building, making sure that this personnel that we are going to deploy there, will have the required, training to function effectively. But if you take healthcare down to that level, I think it is going to make a lot of sense. Okay. And His Excellency has already done that. Okay. We have the structure there very, very visible. Okay. And now we are deploying the equipment. Okay. Yeah.
Now let's look at the issue of joint account. What's the situation like at the moment?
So the issue of joint account, I told you it was a very, very clear thing. We have the mandate to have 15% set aside, which is for the project that the state and the local government will do together. And the second part is the one that the state and the local government will do. I told you that in most cases in the area of rural electrification, we have the state government has done on its own a lot of rural electrification projects, but in some cases we have also collaborated with the local government council. So in a project where there is collaboration between the state government and the local government council, the state government provides 60%, and the 40% is coming from the consolidated local government joint project account, which is by law, operational and functional. And then you also have another element to that. When the local government councils themselves decide to execute a common and uniform project by themselves, they also go to that account and and operate from there. Okay. Yes.
Now, how is it operated, and in terms of management of managing the fund?
This is an account where 15% is set aside, and then you are not going to incur any expenditure in that account unless and until you have the mandate of the chairman. Okay. Yeah, and that is how it has always been, and that is very, very clear. as far as the law is concerned.
Okay. Now, you've made mention of several projects being carried out by local government councils in this. Now, how do you monitor local government councils to ensure efficiency?
That is essentially the role of the Ministry for Local Government. I told you earlier that we have directors, we have zonal inspectors. Run any capital project because of the capacity issue. We are collaborating with the development partners in terms of developing the capacity of the local government. Because it's not our wish to continue to, have a local government system that is not running effectively. You see, states have a reasonable degree of autonomy because there is capacity at the state level. So in the local government, what we are doing now, we are collaborating with development partners to make sure that there is judicious utilization of these resources. And by law, when a local government is executing a capital project, they have to refer to the ministry for guidance, for vetting of their BOQ, and by the time that is done, which ours is just to give them approval and to give them the specification, which they may not have the expertise to do at their own level. And once they have the specification, they operate their own account. And they have to use that approval to execute their capital project. On the aspect of recurring, they have their entire freedom. But what is very important for people to know here is you cannot just take a figure that is published on the newspaper and assume as a local government chairman that this is my grant. I have just told you have 15% of the, which is by law. You have local government council that will have to pay the salaries of the teachers, primary school teachers. The state government is paying for the secondary school teachers. And so it goes. Then you have, for instance, other statutory charges that are there. So when you look at what is left, and that is what led to all this issue, that there should be a review of the revenue sharing formula. Because the local government and state governments are closer to the people, and therefore they should get more. Because the average that a local government gets here after salary, and you recruit a lot of people, and you have even the minimum wage issue. So when you take it, you have 30-40 million after all this statutory expenditure, including salary. And the local government is not able to do more than 300 or 350 million naira project in a whole year. And you can define what kind of capital project can you do. So what we are now doing is we are encouraging the chairman to make sure that they distribute these projects evenly to every ward. And if they can take them to the hamlets, they should also do that evenly. And sometimes we give them that approval. And this year the budgeting process is going to be done in such a way that you know your projected cash flow, and you restrict your capital expenditure to the projected cash flow. And we have decided to reduce the recurrent aspect of their expenditure, so that they can have some allowance to execute capital projects.
Okay. Well, some people see local government councils as if they're not doing much, considered to what probably they get monthly, not only in the state, nationwide. Now, how would you respond to people with this kind of notion that local governments are not doing much compared to what they get monthly?
I believe they are, because now if you go, quite a number of local government, like if you go to our local government, the chairman constructed a lot of works and with the surface dress. If you go to Jared, for instance, the local government is executing a project with the surface dressing apart from the other things that they are doing, because in local government administration you have a lot of other issues. It's not about project. Sometimes you have a disaster. Maybe the entire resources of that local government for that month will be channeled to addressing part of that disaster issue. Sometimes you have, other considerations as they come, but the resources as they are. I have given you an average. If a local government has a net revenue after all the statutory reduction, their salaries of 40 million, they have an interest approval to do recurrent expenditure for 15 million. So 25 million is left. When you multiply 25 million by 12 months, you have 250, you have 300 million. So what kind of serious project can you do? But that is not an excuse. We are telling them, yes, you can still utilize 300 million to execute the project as long as you can approve planning, sequencing, and making sure that the project that you are going to execute will be distributed evenly and fairly.
Okay. Let's look at the issue of training and retraining of local government officials to ensure effective service delivery. What is the ministry doing in this aspect?
This has been our cardinal principle, and I think I have told you earlier that we are collaborating with the development partners. In doing that, we are not incurring any expenditure. The other day we had IPI lead coming to organize capacity building workshop. It was 100% paid by them. Then the Local Government Service Commission is also organizing a lot of capacity.
How often?
This is very, very open. Very, very open. I think now we have even created a work plan for that, so that able chairman and local and councillors and the vice chairman and the bureaucrats within the local government system will know that this is the schedule of the workshop and seminars that will, take place within a period of the calendar.
I remember vividly when, in most cases, when the governor visited the party housing units we're talking about the local government council, we always warn the local government chairman to ensure that they stay in those houses so as to be more closer to the people, to listen to their aims and aspirations. What are you doing to ensure this compliance?
I think they have already started doing that. And essentially another part is, apart from the chairman, the directors and the other senior officers who are from other local government, they are there. Stop them. When you check a census from that directive now to now, as a major shift, I was just with the director of health in Yabo earlier today. I was talking to him that we have some midwives, we have some challenges. MSS, the midwife scheme, that has been posted. If he's not going to utilize the service because he's very close, he's in Jared, coming to Yabo from the economy, he's sending his family there. They are complaining.
Okay. Now let's look at the issue of absenteeism to work. At times, local government officials have been accused of either coming to work late or not coming at all. The monthly salaries are paid. Hardly you find people at the local government, especially those on top. What is the situation like at the moment, and what is the ministry? Are you aware of this? And if you are aware, what is the ministry doing?
Redundancy has been unfortunately a general phenomenon. You see this reflecting in every chair of government. And the most important thing, if you can get these people to convert what they are being paid for to productivity, and that is what we are saying now. We have to define what will make someone productive. You have the other issue when someone is redundant or is not assigned because of limited resources, or the responsibilities are enormous, or you have overemployed people. You just cannot send that person away, because that will also create another labor dispute.
Okay.
And it's a form of providing social security, because when you have someone, even if he's not just doing what he's supposed to do, but like I said, that is why we are now partnering with these development agencies and essentially the United Nations agencies which Nigeria is part of, so that we are not importing any form of imperialism to give us a model that will inject efficiency in the way the local government system operates.
Okay, Commissioner, I'm being told to round up the discussion, but I would like to quickly give you some few seconds to tell us your last message as we want this program.
My last message is that there is a very, very effective local government system in Sokoto State since the beginning of this administration. And there are policies, people-oriented issues, and we have a very, very clear agricultural development strategy, which we will soon crystallize. Every local, that is our strength, and that is what we do.
Okay. Well, viewers, I've been talking to Sokoto State Commissioner for Local Government Affairs in the person of Alhaji Faruk Yabo. We've been talking about local government administration in the state. I would like to say a very big thank you to the Commissioner. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, viewers, don't forget that Sokoto is a peaceful state. Maintain its peaceful nature. Be strictly cautious or report any suspicious activity to the appropriate authority. Until next week, we hope to bring you another exciting episode of NTS News. Until then, good night.